Welcome back to the Brew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 211. This whole year, every month, every episode, every week, every beer we've had, it all was for this. It all comes down to this
211
coming one event left of the year. That's really it. There's just one thing left to do this year, and that is drink 24 beers, 24 days in a row. And it starts this week.
People often commit, or comment to me, they're like, how do you do such a commitment? I go, it's just one beer a day.
One beer a day.
And most days, that's the only beer for the day. I would say
most days.
5% of the days.
Most days, that's the only beer.
Depending when you catch me.
Until the 20th,
right.
I would say it's really a steady, life as usual kind of thing. Business as usual, except add a beer to it. Once the Christmas week hits, it's like, random. So all bets are off. You could drink one beer, you could drink 10 beers. It just, it depends on what you do that day.
Are you going to make the goal this year, JT? Will you commit to the Chuggalos that you will do a beer a day? For the first time in the history of doing the Advent calendar.
I didn't do it. What day did I miss last year?
You missed like 4 or 5 days. And you did them all at once.
I
need you to commit to the Chuggalos.
I'll commit. I commit.
All right.
I commit.
He's committed.
I'm committed. I have real high hopes for this. I think this is going to be, this is year 2, and it's going to be a tradition that will be like no other.
JT, if you could move exit stage left just 2 feet, if you could go that way just for a second.
Sure.
I'll show you my commitment, folks. You will see in the background, my beer's already packed.
It's already packed.
This guy's leaving and has to take 11 beers on the road. It's already packed. First thing that's going to be
right back there. I had to move out of the way for that.
I had to move out of the way.
We could have said it. Chuggalos will believe. They believe.
I have to prove it.
They believe.
I have to prove it.
This is a great moment in our podcast, lineage, I think.
Sarah and Matt on Saturday asked if we had already started. And I said, it's not December. We're very deliberate about the rules.
I've started. But I didn't drink any Advent beers. I just started drinking beer.
Okay, well that's good. It's prep work.
And I'm always reviewing.
Front loading.
Even if I've already had the beer.
Yeah. Because they were worried that we had already started drinking. And I go, no, we'll tag you.
You'll know.
At least in a few of them.
You'll know.
And then I said, if you had 3 more beers to buy, what would you buy? It's crazy because 2 or 3 of them are Bissell brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely gone from their list. All of those
are gone.
All those Bissell brothers are gone.
Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to bring up. So YouTube is going to be the primary distribution of our reviews and videos.
Right.
But there will be other things. Check Facebook, check Instagram. If you want to follow along, what do you think? Should we go over some of the beers, or should we just say, if you just replace the ones you can't get with something else? How do you think we should? If you want to follow along and you want to provide your feedback via video, please do. Put it either in the comment section on Facebook, or if you know my personal contact, send it to me and I'll upload it.
I had a couple of people last year that I can't get that beer, but I think that was like lightning striking. I don't think it's going to strike twice in the same place. So as somebody that is overly worried about a lot of details in life, I'm not worried about this detail.
Okay.
I'm not. But if people want to join us, we could always do, I get up pretty early in the morning. I could always post. We could always front load and do a week ahead of time. I know you've done 7 beers on Instagram, so people would be able to track them down.
Yeah. The next one's coming.
Should they be able to?
Week.
There's still a lion's share because I packed before, obviously the lambics and stuff that I bought more of or whatever. The one beer is still there. That price point is abjectively a deterrent to most people, most casuals.
Here's what I'd say: this podcast is all about drinking beer and giving exposure to some smaller breweries.
Exposing ourselves while drinking beer
to small breweries.
Yeah. Unless you're the one and you know the one. Because you think that we promote that.
They think and they know. They know that. We promote that because we did it to them. if you want to participate and you want to review
ass.
some beers that you can't get your hands on, and you're one of those like just listeners or viewers that don't, we don't know you.
Yeah.
Grab a local brewery from your local area and then review it. Maybe you can get some of the beers and you want to follow along, but some of them you can't, like Bissell Brothers. Find a local brewery. If that beer of the day is an IPA, just grab an IPA. If it's a sour, grab a sour. Do that. How about that? Follow along.
So that's the most important thing. If you're gonna take anything from this episode, just take what JT said. Essentially, we will post or we will support whatever you do if you find it cool. If you find something that's like or similar or whatever, let us know, because again, we're going to be pouring out content here. Instead of like 1 to 2 episodes a week, you're going to get 2 episodes a day for the next, I'm bad at math, what number was it?
24.
20, that sounds, it's probably going to be incredible. It's probably going to be like 96 days.
Might be. It might be 96 days. But
it
this is our
feel
biggest
like
participation event of the year.
Right.
So you can
no trophies, though.
Please participate. No trophies.
I wanted to get back to something because I do have a second device here, and I want to get back to the YouTube comment of the week. And this week's YouTube comment of the week comes from episode 210. I'm going to go back in the archives.
Nice.
There's
some good ones.
Yeah, there's some good ones. But I just want to go to last week's, where we were talking. Poutine Gravy goes, I got asked to tip at the bowling alley register after I paid for my lane. I smashed the fuck out of that no tip button, and I'm not ashamed.
Don't be ashamed. That's what we talked about. If they flash that tip option,
that's a weird thing to tip on.
There's so many things weird to tip on. It's the software, but I feel like you have to choose that screen. I know that all the places I've seen the
conscientious
5%, 10%, 20% tip option. I think you have to choose that screen. I'm gonna stand by that.
But objectively tangential to that conversation, how did your bowling go on Thanksgiving?
Terrible. It's been a while since I bowled. My brother-in-law,
Can you fly,
bowled poorly as well. He said, according to him, he bowled well. He beat me.
But he said he beat you, but he's like this.
But he's like this. He's not. He wasn't even bowling his average, and
What's your score?
A 9-pin tournament.
What's your score in the 3 digits?
Oh yeah.
You killed most of the Chuggalos.
Yeah.
Most of the Chuggalos.
My score. I think I averaged probably around 145. Which by the time COVID hit, I had gotten my average up to about 160.
I was supposed to say you're modest because yours was higher than mine. I was the low guy on the team and I was 147.
I was averaging just for this tournament, but yeah, my average got up to about 160 when we were bowling regularly.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Had a lot of beer. Bobby's a Bud Light drinker, so I made sure there was no Bud Light in the house, but I did allow him to.
There's a lot of
his beer at the bowling alley.
There's a lot. Nice.
And I drank it because we bought buckets.
I'm drinking my father-in-law's Peroni right now.
Oh, Peroni.
That he left, so I'll have a couple of these. With the Bud Light rule, that's an interesting question. There's a lot of beers that I bequeathed you that are Bud Light-esque that you could do, like Bobby. You would enjoy wherever you put them.
Right.
In the toilet, bottom shelf. The crisper. I don't know where you put the beers.
I put them on a shelf.
But you could even
next
just put
to the
Bobby.
Fridge. They're warm.
Bobby,
they're
if cold. They're not cold. Well,
but I could chill them. But what I want to do is introduce Bobby to Busch Light. Because people,
you still have it.
People, yeah, he did. He admitted it's better than he remembers it being. Same thing with Phil. Who will be making his triumphant return to the podcast with the advent calendar.
It's crazy, like how I sent one picture again during the calendar build, and I showed everyone because no one's going to believe. Like the picture, it's a bottle store, 7 people in the picture, and 2 people's takeaway was Phil.
Yeah, and he thought he saw that,
and he thought
thinks, oh, that's not good. But I said that's great.
You have to assure him.
Basically, you're famous. People, it's not for a bad reason. If it was for a bad reason, they'd say, ha ha ha, Phil. They're just saying Phil.
We could honestly, when we start up the podcast channel, he's getting the second show. He has to.
Podcast network.
When we do the podcast network, yeah, he has to. There's a thirst for.
That'll be the technical podcast.
That'll be the technical one, yeah.
Yeah, where he can talk about brewing cherry beer.
I don't know if we played this, but I have a brief game that I wanted to do. If that's okay with you. If we did it,
it's always okay.
So, but I can't remember if we've done it because we've done this for 5 years. It seems like this is something I would have done.
All right.
So I'm either going to name you a beer that it's a beer, a band, or something else.
A beer, a band, or something else.
Or something random, yeah.
Okay,
you
that's
ready?
a lot of things. You can, so anything. And it might be a beer.
So a beer, a band, or neither.
Oh, or neither.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah, I guess that also includes anything else.
Okay, you ready?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be quick.
A beer, band, or neither.
Yep. Lightning sword.
Beer.
It's neither.
Neither.
Yep.
That's a good beer name.
Flying dog.
Flying dog, beer.
Yep. That's one. I'm gonna keep track.
That's 0. Are we playing horseshoe rules? Said 0 then.
Gravity hammer.
Gravity hammer. Oh, I know. I've heard that before. Gravity hammer. I'm gonna say band.
It's a beer.
Dang, I knew it was a beer too.
Phantom Planet.
Oh, that's a band.
Yep. Rogue Shakespeare.
Rogue Shakespeare. Beer.
Neither.
Neither.
Gypsy Dream.
Gypsy Dream. Band.
It's band and beer. So
oh shit.
Atom Smash.
Atom Smash.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. There are no more. There's one more double.
One more double.
That's one or the other.
Atom Smash is beer.
Yep. Okay, you're at 3.
Nice.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise. That sounds like a band.
Yep, it is.
Nice.
On a roll, 2 in a row. Sour Ball.
Sour Ball. Beer.
3 in a row.
Ooh.
5. Midnight Symphony.
Midnight Symphony. Band.
It is. If it was a beer, what kind of beer would it be? There's only one answer.
Oh, it's stout.
Obviously. Golden Monkey.
Golden Monkey. Beer.
Yep. Cobra Starship.
Cobra Starship is a band.
It's neither.
Cobra something.
And
Cobra.
Alpine Duet.
Alpine Duet. That's got to be shit. That's a hard one. Both.
Nope. Band.
Dang.
Aquatic Siren.
Aquatic Siren. Band.
Neither.
Neither.
Yeti Fight.
Yeti Fight. Beer.
Yep. Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire. Band.
Easiest one that I have. Anchor Steam.
Anchor Steam is a beer.
Much to my chagrin. And
But it's a beer?
Yeah, because
it shouldn't exist.
Horrendous. Zombie Dust.
Zombie Dust. Beer.
Yep. Ugly Casanova.
Ooh, that's a good name. Ugly Casanova is a band.
Yep, that's obviously. And Winona's Big Brown.
It's got to be a beer.
It's
both.
Both.
Yeah,
it is both.
both. Look at that say.
Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
I think I'm going to challenge Cobra Starship, but it might be Cobra something else. Let me look for a second here while I delay by just saying words. Cobra Starship is
pop band.
I think a band.
It says pop band. Okay, there you go. I'll give it to you.
Because I've heard their music before.
13 out of 20.
Yes.
They're a K-pop band. You've heard them?
Oh, K-pop? No. I'm talking about Cobra Starship.
Oh,
You Make Me Feel. You ever hear that song?
Dance. They're
like a dance punk.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go.
I heard about them in a old punk magazine I used to read called Alternative Press. I don't know if they still make that magazine, but the internet has deemed it unnecessary.
Turn back in 3 years when we probably do that game again because it feels like something I've done.
That was a good game.
Just
beer band, neither or both.
Neither or both. Yeah.
Beer band, both or neither. I think because you got BBB and.
Yeah, I mean we can
name a K-pop band. Go. Exactly. That's where I'm at too. We tied.
No, it's
like BTS.
Yeah, the biggest band in the world or whatever is a K-pop band.
I don't understand that. Like I've never, not to delay.
Yeah.
But I've never interacted with a person who's familiar with the music. I know a lot of people familiar with BTS.
Yeah.
But not the music. Like, what is a song by them? I don't know.
I'd play it, but we'd
we'd get sued out of existence.
We get
Taylor Swift. Everyone knows
Swifties.
Taylor Swift.
Swifties.
But I don't know anybody who knows anything about BTS.
If you have the opportunity, we don't talk too much about like past bar exploits or beer exploits. I went to Barrel House again. I had the 450 mango, guava, It's the thickest beer I've ever had there.
Oh yeah.
And when they
450 XXXL.
yeah,
Triple X.
and poured it like in a little wine. Oh, and he goes. They were telling me that they have to clean the lines twice when they put 450.
Oh, I bet.
Because it just.
I bet. So then, so that's what the upcharge is.
Well worth it though. And I was like, "Do you have this?" And they're like, "No." He goes, he's only ever seen it because I would. It's right up there with Hurricane for me for favorite.
Ooh, that's awesome. Love 450. Great brewery. But this beer comes to us from Chuggalo Bobby.
I've never heard of this.
This is the last submission from him.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Can you fly? This is from Metal Monkey, who we discussed 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago now. Out of Romeoville, Illinois. This is Bikini Bottom Pineapple Gose. So this
High hopes.
Bobby is a SpongeBob fan
And a Bud Light fan.
I would say though if this was a Simpsons beer, it would make more sense. He is a Simpsons fanatic.
Like, can quote the show.
Simpsons, yes.
I admire those
Has
people.
collectibles. Loves the show. Can quote it. Talks about it. Can relate it to real life. He does keep it relatively under wraps.
Don't.
He doesn't. He's not like obscene about it.
Simpsons.
He's not in your face about it.
Simpsons, the first 10 seasons. If you tell me you're a Simpsons fan and you qualify that with saying the earlier stuff, that's highbrow humor to me, and I put you on a pedestal above a lot of people.
No, I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons when it first came out.
Because Rescue 911 was on or something.
She wouldn't let me watch it.
Did you guys just have one TV though,
back
and something
then,
else
though,
was on?
The sentiment around The Simpsons back then was that this was crude humor. Now, by today's standards, it's nothing, basically.
Right.
We watch worse shit on the news. But back then, it was like... Whew.
Can you find the alcohol content on this? That's why I'm looking at right now.
Oh, good question.
I couldn't find it. So while you're looking, I'll give you a shot.
I'm not seeing it. 1 pint, 16 ounces.
Does that bother you when you can't find it on the can?
Today it does. Yeah.
On the podcast it does, yes.
It does recently because I've noticed that it matters to me now. It didn't maybe in the first 2 years of the podcast, but it was probably I wasn't recognizing I was doing it, but
yeah.
I stack my beers now when I drink them in one evening. Not like when I'm out with maybe you or friends, but when I'm out with the wife or a family event, I'm trying to keep it at a certain level.
So when you stack them, are you just prepping for wizard staff?
Mm-hmm. So I think that in a night, I want that number to add up to a number less than 20.
20 beers?
No. The ABV. So
okay.
Let's say I have a bunch of 4%. That's a good night. A bunch of Miller Lights, a bunch of Busch Lights. Or I have like a 12 and I follow it up with an IPA.
Right.
And that's the night. I'm done. Right? I think that's a good limit. You just add your ABVs up to 20. Anything more than that, you're fucking hammered. You're getting hammered. That's a night that you set out to get drunk.
Interesting. Okay.
And I didn't put a number on it until now, but I think subconsciously I've been doing it for a while.
So if you have 3 truths, you're hammered.
No, if you have 3 truths, you're on your way.
Oh, on your way. Okay.
Like 20, that's what do you got? 21 at that point?
Yeah.
You're probably like
1.6.
Why stop now? But if I'm at 2, and then I throw a Busch Light on top of it, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Interesting. Okay.
It depends on which side of the hill you're on. Are you still going uphill or are you going downhill?
That's an interesting theory.
I'm gonna coast. You can coast off of 2 truths and a Busch Light for the rest of the night. Be done. As long as you didn't drink them in the first 20 minutes. But you have 3 truths, might as well just keep going.
It amazes me the situational etiquette that we bring up 5 years doing this, and like we've never thought
Never thought of it.
Never thought.
But I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I look at the ABV. I wanted, like when we were at Barrel House.
I've never considered that.
I picked a beer up because they do the 1 can thing, and I was like, ooh, this is a 10% or whatever. So I was like, not today. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Or I'll buy this and take it home. But anyway, let's crack this beast open. See how Bikini Bottom's doing. Not preloaded. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. All right. So Metal Monkey, we talked about Romeoville. We talked about it in the context of Joliet, Romeoville and Joliet. It's a Shakespeare play for the modern Midwesterner.
The star-crossed lovers
Uh-huh.
in Illinois, the Fibs.
It's called The Romeo and Juliet.
Do they face each other in sports?
I'm sure they do. They're not far away. I'm sure they do.
You know, similar sizes.
Something.
I know
for
Joliet. I
Chuggalos
don't
Bobby
know
to answer.
Romeoville.
Yeah.
With Gose's specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I drink more that first one because typically I'm thirsty knowing that a Gose is coming. But I find in that type of beer compared to like a stout or a porter or whatever, I will probably take 4 to 5 ounces in that first pull. I'm probably exaggerating that. It's probably closer to 3, but it's far more graduated than other types of beer. For
Definitely. Sure. Typically, when I think of a Gose, I think of like the Seltzer's beer sister. You still have a thirst quenching beverage. Typically, I think it's more carbonation. That's a little teaser. I don't think this one has as much as I was expecting, but it it's gonna give you just a little bit more hydration, and then a little less of the flavor it's promising. I think it's usually muted, but that's not to say that this one is.
The flavor that carries the Gose through is that like spontaneous ferment. It's that vinegar aspect to it. You know, it's tough to get that out of a Gose. If you want that cool, like if a Gose is not going to be your go-to, and again, I'm finding more and more people in life that do not like pickles. Like
really,
if you're not a pickle person,
I can't
try not to offer them a Gose.
Even just a regular one. I guess I could see it now that now that you said it. Maybe I can taste the pickle on this.
No, it's more so the vinegar. It's not the pickle.
Right.
But that's the aspect.
That feeling.
No one goes, man, I really love cucumbers, but I don't like pickles.
Yeah.
You know, usually that's the gateway to that because a pickle and a cucumber are vastly different.
They really are. I was just thinking that in my head. One's kind of like clean. One has a clean taste.
Yep.
And the other one, not so much.
It's celery with character.
Mm-hmm. Not really.
I'll work on that.
No.
That's not a good one. That's a fail.
Wow, there's interesting. Did
you find the booze?
I shouldn't have read about this beer first because I'm learning things that it's 4.4%.
Yep. So I just had to go find that because again, for me, it's just making the spreadsheet and making everything jive or whatever too. But right in the wheelhouse where you'd expect to go is like a 3.8 to like a 5.1 for a bigger one. So it's a smaller, much smaller sweet spot than other beers.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other beers, did you seek out any BCBSs this year?
I didn't. I saw that they were available, and I
$38 for one of the variants this year. Yeah.
Oh, last year there was a $50 one, and I bought it.
The old Fitzgerald one. There was some down at Barrel House. But I did not partake in any of those down there.
There were some variants, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I do like about PCBS recent times is that there's variants.
Right. They have a little diversity then instead of... But, you know, there's people that get off on doing the year-to-year thing.
Yeah. Well, just for one beer. Wow, this is a very belchy beer.
That elicited... There's some carbonation.
Trying to get some more info. I don't think I did the brewery justice last time because last time, if you recall, it was the 70 and sunny and whatever. That was the title. It was the weather report.
No, it's Horns Up for Metal Monkey.
Yeah, it was. I remember the title of the episode was something about the weather, 50 in Romeoville or something.
Oh yeah, because you did the weather report.
And what I did was I covered the DJ who collaborated more than I covered Metal Monkey.
Yeah.
But they're out of Romeoville. This is the second beer we've had from him. I will say this: if you like Bobby, if you trust him, it's like his favorite brewery. So that's a huge, huge compliment to Metal Monkey.
So what's your favorite brewery?
What's my favorite brewery?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
But he probably goes there. What's your favorite brewery to go to? I'll cut it down for you.
Yeah, to go to. It's a toss up right now between and it has been for a while between Branch and Bone and nowhere in particular. because each time I go there, I say, yeah, this is my favorite, and then I go to the other one, I'm like, oh no, this one is.
Like when you walk in, does it just like shower over you? Does it like
no first beer?
First sip. You have to have.
You get
beer,
that sip, and you're like, fuck yeah, because I always at least order the one on the menu that looks the best, and then I kind of just go down from there. And every time, the first beer I have at both those places is amazing. What about you? What's your favorite brewery?
So let's keep it here. Because I just went to Branch and Bone. I haven't been there nearly as, but I did go to Branch and Bone. Took the family there.
Oh, nice.
And then we went Barrel House, Century Bar, Warped Wing, Branch and Bone. Obviously, everyone's favorite was Century Bar. It's hard to compare.
Well, yeah, I think that's
again apples and oranges, but I think everyone would say Branch and Bone, even though they gave Warped Wing warm fuzzies. It was nice because Warped Wing wasn't overrun with. It was quiet.
Oh, it was quiet. Here's the thing about Century Bar that I would actually, like, if I was a first timer at both that and Branch and Bone. Branch and Bone just has a more welcoming staff. No offense to the people at Century Bar, but I never feel welcome when I'm there. I love it. I love Century Bar. But I just feel like there's a certain like arrogance about bourbon that you can't argue with, that you can with beer. You could be like, don't be a fucking asshole. But with bourbon, you're like, oh, you're an asshole. That's just like you. That's fine.
Maybe it's a sexist thing because they talked up my sister-in-law for like 20 minutes and like taught her like the ins and outs, like between like these cocktails that she was ordering. Like for me, everything's, rocks. But like, and they were relatively busy. It was when Ohio State was losing, so it was awesome.
So it was post Thanksgiving, and you didn't get the in-house eggnog or whatever it is that they have there.
No, because my wife and her brother are old fashioned.
Yeah.
Individuals
same here.
Through and through, and after having just the Soul Boxer stuff, they wanted to go have one down there, and he said we didn't sell it cool enough. Like he didn't realize he was in for that type of experience. But I forget what she was having. My sister-in-law, I forget what she was having, but it was interesting just listening to them preface like, oh, this is, you would do this, you would do this. The one bartender I had never seen before. The other one's been there for years.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, number 2, Bourbon Bar. Not a bourbon podcast, but big bourbon fans here. But no, it was nice to just get out and see the random assortment of places and to pitch them to
absolutely
people. Because it's you can go to breweries, whatever, but they need to stand apart, and it's tough when you throw Century Bar in there because Century Bar stands apart from everything.
Right.
Where these other ones, it's like, oh, it's a beer, they do this, blah blah blah. If they don't have like a flagship or like a variance, like Little Esther's right now is the big flagship variant or whatever. That's the standalone product.
Their BCBS, and it came out recently as well. But when you don't have that, at least in Dayton, you have character. So Barrel House is a character play.
100%.
I think Branch and Bone I don't think they have a standard. They're a character place. You always walk in, you feel like, one, you're definitely getting expert beer, and two, you feel welcome. Nowhere in particular, they are definitely a specialty place. You gotta like sours. They make good IPAs, but their sours are unbelievable.
That's a participatory bar.
They have a character.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, don't short them on that.
Yeah, I don't want to short them.
They are very participatory, like clapping when everyone comes in. Yeah. Shots around. Like
Steph and I went there, met there, and I don't know if he's a part owner or someone who's high up in the chain. No, the guy who was behind the bar took Steph and I to the back of the facility, and we shotgunned Natty Days, which I thought was a unique experience for a brewery that's trying to sell its beer.
Be approachable. Yeah, it's
that was awesome.
Unless you can your own, it's tough to shotgun your stuff.
A member.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would be tough to shotgun their beer.
Did you ask them if there was more of the, 26, the orange creamsicle or whatever?
I always ask for that, but nah. There's a new bartender there now, and she's very delightful. Not as, I don't know, I don't want to use eccentric, not as feature rich as the guy who had the Natty Days with us, but very knowledgeable and very friendly and approachable. So, I mean, you didn't go there, but yeah, Branch and Bone, I could see that order.
Did you want to go on about them, or do you want me to?
No, I'll say
off the
one last
top
thing. If you have the time to drive, I would go personally. I would go to the Warped Wing Smokehouse over the downtown Dayton brewery. Pretty much any time now. I think that choice they made that they have solidified that choice for me because the Smokehouse is amazing.
Yeah, I like tater cakes.
Tater cakes?
Yeah,
Is that what they have that at the downtown one?
The stuffed the tater tots on steroids.
They're not making their own food though, right? At the downtown one?
No, they make their own food.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
I thought that was a restaurant.
No, that's in-house now.
Oh,
so
it's in-house now.
The charge comes from, it used to be someone else, but now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So now the charges work.
It's been a while since I've been there.
Sweet. Off the top rope, I'm almost done with this one. This is a really easy drinking, crushable beer. But outside of that, besides being Bikini Bottom and the little bit that I know about SpongeBob, it doesn't elicit any pineapple to me. It just is a pretty standard skosh or Gose with a skosh of fruit, whatever fruit it happens to be.
Go skosh.
Off the top rope, 4.0.
Wow.
I love how crushable this beer is, though.
Interesting that you didn't get pineapple out of this.
None.
Because I did. All right, here's the can art. We're at 31 minutes. There you go. First thoughts on the can art is I'm surprised Bikini Bottom isn't something that is trademarked. Because they did not use the likeness of any SpongeBob characters. But they were able to use Bikini Bottom. And I don't know how naming beer works. Like maybe you could just...
Isn't Bikini Bottom a real place?
Is it a real place? I have no idea. That it is definitely an article of clothing. It is the bottom half of a bikini.
Maybe that's why they can get away with it.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe because it's just the Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
And on the can, so that is a good segue into the can art. The can art is several bikini bottoms. They are the bottom halves of bikinis tied.
Sorry, I googled Bikini Bottom. Just take the next 5 minutes and you do you.
Are the results fantastic?
It's what you would expect.
Oh, well, I don't know what to expect considering SpongeBob's popularity. But there's also pineapples. The Metal Monkey.
There are pineapples too.
On there?
Yeah.
Very good.
What kind of pineapples?
I don't know.
These are all shapes and sizes.
Oh yeah,
pineapples.
There's also hop plant, and the Metal Monkey logo. I don't know what the logo normally is. This is only the second beer we've done from them, but he's got the horns. Horns up. Which I don't know. Do you do that? Do you do that at concerts?
Yes.
I know.
It's been a long time since I've been to a concert, though.
Yeah, you should go.
Part of me, you know what? I would. I hate Ticketmaster.
Yeah, definitely.
100,000. It overpowers my desire to go to most concerts.
Wow.
And the concerts that I would go to a lot if I was back home still because my best friend likes going to concerts. I'm more apt to ordering it and sitting on my duff and watching it.
Yeah,
I mean,
in that we're very different.
But again, I don't want. Oh, it's a $25 ticket, and then you're walking away paying $96.
Yeah, it sucks. It's ridiculous. I hate.
And Chuggalos know that that's not an exaggeration. We exaggerate a lot. That's not a fucking exaggeration.
Somebody needs to do something about this.
I know they say
venues.
The Swifties and everything are. That's where I admire Kid Rock when Kid Rock did his $25 and 2 beer show or whatever like that. The tickets were shit, $25, and he got a voucher for a beer.
Yeah, and so we bought tickets to Blink-182 in Cleveland.
Yeah, and
they bypassed Ticketmaster and I don't know what they did. They still went through a ticket vendor, so they went through SeatGeek.
I bet they bought the venue. So a lot of comedians will do this. Comedians will buy the venue, so then they control everything.
Yeah, that's
they take the risk.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why artists and everything do it is because then they don't have if the building starts on fire or something like that. But a lot of comedians like Joe Coy or whatever will buy the venue and then he can sell it at his price points.
Yeah, that's good.
Without the fucking vendor fees.
That makes sense. Yeah,
and more money for them. But that's who just did it recently. Dane Cook does this.
Oh, okay.
So Dane Cook, when he did his forum shows, he'd buy the forum. I think he said it was like sorry, Stacy, $13 million went before him.
Damn.
So just you, but then it's your show.
Right. That's a lot of money. I feel like, I don't know, that you'd have to sell a lot of tickets to get that money back. But then I'm guessing he gets the beer sales and everything.
Yeah, concessions. Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
They wouldn't do it if they didn't make money, but yeah, he's like, yeah, you can just buy your own venue, self-promote, do all that stuff yourself.
So yeah, we had that with the Blink, but the problem with that is now, you know how, I don't know if you've bought tickets in a while, you buy them, and when you're in the shopping process, once you put them in your cart, they're reserved.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
You just had to go through really quick.
You gotta put them in your cart and buy them like right now.
I'm in.
Because we tried 3 times and they were sold before we could check out. And my wife was doing the Detroit show, and I was doing the Cleveland show.
Just to make sure
we got tickets.
Right.
Because they were not coming to Cincinnati, and this is a band that I've liked my whole life. And they might never play again. Who knows? So I gotta go. Take the kids. Got the tickets.
It'll be interesting to see if they play the same show because they were widely known as, and correct me if I'm wrong, they would change up their set lists.
I don't know if they change the set list, but they do a lot of improv in between songs.
Yeah.
And so they'll do
that's like moments.
Like ad-lib songs. Kind of like a jam band might do, a 20-minute random song that doesn't actually exist. They'll do the same thing. They'll just play like, some shit with a bunch of swear words.
Some shit, some NWA.
Yeah, they might do that. They did, I Wish I Was Taller when I went in 2004. Wish I was a little bit taller. I don't want to get DCMA'd, but...
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we've been close before with how good that was.
They did that. The rock version.
Some streamers play copyrighted music on their stream. I don't know how they get away with it. Multiple guys I watched that
I think
play
you
Magic.
can do it, but they probably can't post that video to YouTube then.
That's got.
They can just stream it, and that's it. It's gone forever. Anyway,
because they're not monetizing it. I mean, they're monetizing getting.
But there's no replays or whatever.
100%.
It's not in the database.
Same wavelength.
So that's the counter bonus. Bikini Bottom is written in SpongeBob text, which is kind of a tiki font.
Yeah.
And that's the counter bonus segment brought to you by Bobby. Thanks, Bobby. This beer is very delicious. I get pineapple immediately. There's something about this that I wasn't. The first sip it felt like creamy, kind of like a pineapple whip, like a Dole whip that you get in Hawaii. And I thought that was creaminess, but actually, when I looked it up, when I was saying I regret looking it up, it's because when I talk about beer, even if I'm wrong, I'd like to just talk about it organically. Like these are my thoughts, and these are the facts that as I know. But I do know that there's sea salt in this, Himalayan sea salt.
Mm-hmm. Pink sea salt.
Pink sea salt. Which I think is done in a way with the sugar and the pineapple that gives it that whipped taste. I really like this beer. I think this beer could change its name to Dole Whip, and it would actually, maybe I'm the only one who gets that creaminess though. I don't know. That saltiness is just like converted in my brain. 4.5. Love this beer. It's very good.
While we're going to the second beer, I wanted to bridge, and I just picked a random episode. So I went to episode 121, which was called Goodwill Beer. Wonder where we got that name from. Anywho, the top comment came from one Teresa Binder, and she said, "The upside down cross is Charles Manson, creeper."
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a very interesting excursion.
I was going to say you might need
How
to
did we do this?
lift the wax off of it first.
Yeah, probably.
So take there you go. Break her off. And so if you want to know where that comment came from, check out episode 121, Goodwill Beer.
120. I wonder what we did on that beer. On that episode? Do you know what kind of beer we drank?
Yeah,
on that one.
Obviously.
Yeah,
we drank Illuminated Creeper and Saugatuck.
Oh.
Or Creeper and Saugatuck Cottonmouth Crusher.
Oh, yeah.
I would never be able to tell you that we had a Saugatuck beer. Yeah.
I've been I got a speaker that connects to my iTunes account, and
Sweet.
So I've been playing just shuffle all my music that I own, and I have old music from Cottonmouth Kings and old stuff like that, and it's crazy hearing it.
Do you have
as an adult?
Do you have
really stupid music?
Crazy Town Butterfly?
I believe that I deleted that song intentionally because fuck that song. But there is there's a guy. I hate to endorse a YouTube channel that has not endorsed us, but I think his name is Pat Finnerty, and he does a channel called Why This Song Stinks, and that is one of the songs he does.
Interesting.
It is awesome. And wow, this is gonna
you're killing
this. Is really difficult. I think they should put one of those little levers in there that.
You want me to go get a knife?
No, I'm almost there.
Okay.
Almost there. We just need to stall.
Great content.
I was not expecting. It is good content. You can watch me open a bottle. If you're listening to the audio, well, sorry.
It's nice.
Almost there.
Again, and there's people. There's people
almost
there. There's people that hand dip their own bottles. Just So this is not a bottle that you'd have to worry about. You got it.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Look at that. Nailed it. Well, how'd you do that? Make it escapable.
It did. I mean, you just did. Not everyone's filming sweet content.
All right. This is Streetside's Interstate Pastry Flight Barrel Aged Creme Brulee Donut Stout.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful. That's like eating.
We won't type all that on the episode.
That's like being a creme brulee donut.
I don't know that I've ever had a creme brulee donut. Creme brulee famously requires flame. Requires a torch, and donuts don't.
There's a way to. Oh
yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, this is creme brulee stout. It is it's street side. I forgot to look at the alcohol, but I think it was 14. High. It was high. That's what I was going to say because I remember thinking that it's high. It's a lot of alcohol content. So I'm gonna take a sip here.
Hey, you're still below your 20.
Exactly. I'm at 18. Gotta stop after this. Wow.
Besides that Miller Lite you had.
Yeah. Well, besides the Miller Lite I had, which does put me over, so I guess I should just keep going. That's my theory.
14%. Okay.
14%.
You did say that. I just didn't know if there was a.
The important thing to remember about this beer, and to know, not remember, but know, is that this is in collaboration with the Barrel House. Now there is another collaboration coming in the Advent calendar. I want everyone to know the importance of having that collaboration beer because without Barrel House, that Advent calendar is not possible. But also this one, I found this one on the shelves, barrel aged double creme brulee donut. I don't know what this is barrel aged in, but it's from Streetside. They're Cincinnati brewer. We'll get to the can art. But yeah, we've done Streetside on the pod before.
We have,
I'm
yes.
almost sure of it. And yeah, that's basically it. It comes in a bottle, 500 milliliters, which means that
It's our fourth time.
Oh wow! Which means that you're probably sharing it. You're probably going to share it, or you're going to drink it all yourself. But these aren't typically beers you drink out of the bottle. Put them in a glass.
This is crushable.
Yeah. Not at all.
This is it's tough, especially with the pastry stout, because most of your I've got it random here because with pastry stouts, most of your sweetness comes from the milk sugar, which is hard to elicit through nose. So like if you smell cereal milk, for example, it's not very fragrant unless it's like a really overpowered bottle of or box of Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
So on the nose, this is 100% booze.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that carries through the palate. JT did a wonderful job of warming this up, which we know in stouts, and especially ones with high variant counts in them, that it elicits, you get more taste because it's waking up all of those flavors that need to be a little bit excited more than a chilled temperature. It's very soft and light on the palate. It's, if nothing else, this is not a cake donut because cake donuts are heavier. This is what's the other kind of donut? There's cake,
Yeah,
which
like-
is the dense.
Right.
This is
the
the other
Krispy Kreme
donut.
type.
Yeah. This is light and fluffy. And again, that milk sugar carries through that sweetness. Off the top rope. God, it's growing on me as many bottled conditioned stouts are. Off the top rope, I am very comfortable at a 4.25.
4.25.
This is not crushable.
No, it's not crushable.
this-
Please don't crush it.
This is darn good though.
Here's the can art.
It's thinner for a stout too, which is
A little bit, yeah. That is a good observation. There's the can art.
All right. So the Can Art bonus segment brought to you still by Chuggalo Bobby.
Can you fly, Bobby?
We have some, looks like zombies or some possessed people driving a convertible that has a Dayton Loves Beer sticker on the door. And they're throwing flaming donuts at maybe an armadillo, or maybe they're just throwing them in general. But the
One or the other.
individual who's probably a girl based on the body is pointing at something. I'm not sure what. But also,
Can we just say the girl is Sarah? Is it Sarah?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
And the man has a beard. They're throwing flaming donuts. Lots of flaming donuts in this thing. There's also lightning coming down. There's a dead armadillo in the street. And they have hit the interstate pastry fight barrel-aged double creme brulee donut stout sign. It's Ohio, and the interstate is S for Streetside. Though it could be interpreted as Interstate 5, which, as we all know, is in California. That would not be a Dayton Loves Beer interstate. That is the Can Art Boner segment. There's really nothing else to be said here. I would like to know what they're throwing these donuts at, because they're definitely going after something. And it's hard to hit those signs. How would you hit that sign? You would have to intentionally hit that sign. And those signs are usually high up off the ground.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the Can Art Boner segment. The beer itself, I do taste a vanilla here. And the creaminess is the milk sugar. It is very sweet. I would agree it's probably not like a cake donut. These donuts are like the fluffy kind. But that vanilla and milk sugar combo it's almost too much. It's almost too sweet. Trying to find more intelligent words to say about that combination. I don't know. It's punchy. It's punchy with sweetness. Man, it's a weird beer. The stout, the underlying beer here,
Yeast donut.
yeast donut. Okay. The underlying beer to this beer is almost invisible. The only kind of hit of darkness that you get is in the initial taste, and then it just goes away instantly when it's overpowered by all the sweetness and the vanilla. Man, I wish I liked it as much as you did, because I feel like this beer has there's some technical craft in this beer.
Yeah.
I just don't appreciate it. The booze is like prevalent. It's definitely prevalent. It tastes like it smells. That creaminess doesn't come in until after the booze goes away. But it's not a terrible beer. I mean, I don't hate it. I just don't love it. It's a 3.75. That's where I'm at on it. That's it.
Since we're talking about Cincinnati beers, I have a question to ask you.
I would love to hear that question.
If you're going to Cincinnati's a far bigger beer city than, just population wise, than Dayton is.
Mm-hmm.
you can only hit up 3 brewers.
Only hit 3.
What 3 brewers?
Interesting.
And whatever you do there, you do there.
For sure, Urban Artifact is
Yep.
going to be one of them. I would have to go to Rheingeist just because I haven't yet had a bad experience there. I know it's kind of like going to Warped Wing in Dayton, where it's the big guy. You know what to expect. You might not get anything, but it's a standard. The last one, I'm going to
So is Streetside not that third one?
Streetside would be that third one once, and that's because my answer is the third one will almost always be one I haven't been to yet.
Okay.
That's the answer.
So I'll be rotating.
Yeah, rotating.
So mine is going to be almost similar to you with Mad Tree, but what happens to Mad Tree? I think their presence is
They're
gone quite a bit.
As far as I have seen, I think they're still
But they used to
pretty
be
prevalent. They're
so
just
much
it's
more.
all standards now. It's all repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree though.
Because like
There's
Listerman's
no
is up
hype.
there, like Taft.
Listerman, yeah.
Taft is not up there. Like Gabble Bangers, a cool concept, but maybe there's more exploration that needs to be done, like a refreshing of the palate, if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
But the interesting. I had a good thing I wrote it down. So a couple of years ago, we did a Bobo in our second Bobo was Cincinnati. Our first Bobo was Columbus. Our second Cincinnati. Remember buying Stegosaurus?
Yes.
Do you remember the price point on that?
No.
And so that was a $24 beer.
Okay.
And do you remember? Ooh, that's so. And now $24. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Oh,
Like-
yeah.
like
it
one
was-
of our-
yeah,
right?
That's a good point.
So I just wrote that down. So like to bring all the, so we're not speaking inside. So a couple of years ago we did a Bobo, so blow off.
Mm-hmm.
We had all of the bread.
We did.
But prior to having
we
all
did.
of the
I tried.
bread, we went to Urban Artifact and we're like, what can't we get? What can't we get? And they're like, oh, Stegosaurus. They gave it a shorty bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, we'll split it. We're like, oh, what's the price point? And they're like $24. And
Oh my God,
like,
never paid
and we're still spending out of the Bobo central account.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not that we're in much of a different place in life, but we just understand that quality product reflects a quality price point.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that came up when I was thinking about Cincinnati beer. I'll always think about that because now it's like, oh, if that's $24, that's just that's just what it costs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
And that's
interesting.
that's a spontaneous fermentation beer right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not like where $4.50 their price point, and the one we had last week with the scary movie. What was the brewery on that one? With
RAR? Oh,
Yeah,
let's play
RAR.
a game, yeah.
Yeah, those are expensive because of the ingredients. The ingredients are expensive, whereas I think that the Stegosaurus was expensive because they did the spontaneous fermentation, then they aged it.
Aged on it. They sat on it.
They put it in a barrel.
So you have to make your money back from that product taking up. So I talked about RAR Brewing down there, and when I went down to Barrel House, and I go, how did you guys? And they're like, just on a whim, because maybe we'll see RAR. I haven't been at Pat's because I've got enough beer for a little bit, but it's amazing both products that I had from there, because I'm like, that put your best foot forward, and one, on your label, that cool label.
Yeah,
and then two, have a quality product. The first beer I ever had from them, I'm like, I have to get more of this. The second beer wasn't quite as good, but it didn't do enough to be. They're not a fluke by any means.
Definitely not.
Fantastic product, and again, one that we will continue to explore, and I have high hopes for coming into 2023.
Yeah, same. So, on a final note, do you have anything that you're that you're exceptionally excited about for the Advent calendar?
The shenanigans that go on, especially when we're in the safety of our own homes and we're able to record, because we've cracked beers right at midnight because we're so excited for the next day. Obviously the crick the lambic, just for the price point. Again, as I was packing, and again, not trying to analyze, but just looking at names or whatever, I lost it. But the opportunity to have such a diverse, this year exceeds last year in the diversity of offerings.
Yeah, definitely. There's more types of beer. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the camaraderie that comes with the Advent calendar. I think we have a lot more conversations between the two of us, Stev, Svil, even between, I know you always have a constant contact with the Wisconsin folks, but even I get a little involved with some of the people over there. And it's always nice to have this leading up to Christmas. There was for years, I always thought as an adult, the period of time leading to Christmas, the only thing that makes it feel like Christmas is that I intentionally make the family switch to Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And we do that. That's a pretty good thing. But this is an added bonus now. It makes it feel like a season.
But before we get into talking about that, Christmas movies, have you seen the Christmas Story Christmas?
Not yet.
My wife and my brother-in-law will watch that 24-hour solid during the holidays. So I brought them back.
The Christmas Story Christmas, the new one.
No, not that, the original.
Oh yeah, of course I've seen the original. I love it.
But have you seen the sequel?
No.
Okay. So I put it on for everyone when we got back. I was the driver, and no one made it more than 20 minutes. Yeah, so that was
like
hilarious.
not naps. Just they were like, I'm out.
I mean, it was like 10, 15 at night. So yeah, they were done.
They were done watching it, or they fell asleep.
They fell asleep.
Okay, I want to know what their thoughts are. Seeing
20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes into it.
But we
yeah.
watched the new Ryan Reynolds Will Ferrell movie. Yeah, Spirited. I will say, better than I expected, though. Ryan Reynolds has become the person Deadpool basically aimed at, like targeted.
Yep.
And he's a predictable guy now. Ryan Reynolds is basically the anti-movie guy. He's I'm not the guy you expected, and I'm anti this and that.
Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. It's like the Tom Cruise
he
thing.
plays
Tom
himself.
Yeah, Tom Cruise
yeah.
plays Tom Cruise. Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds.
In this, I think this was the first movie where I was like, this is Ryan. This is the character he's playing, which is I'm the anti-Christmas movie guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it, but and then he does. It's a musical, which made it way more interesting. No, I said the same thing. I was like, this movie's gonna suck. I don't want to watch it. It actually is pretty good.
Yeah,
you should watch it.
That'll be a choir for.
It's not a terrible movie.
But so back to the calendar. It's why we started this. We were sitting at a bar that no longer exists anymore, and we're like, hey, we have a lot to say about this, and then the opportunities to talk are just much more because you're consistently doing something new every day.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger every year. Grant, this is year 2, but it's gotten bigger.
It has gotten bigger every year.
Every year, and then it will just continue getting bigger. And again, anytime that I can just be like, "Hey, where did you get that?" when people ask, and send people to the Barrel House is awesome. So,
absolutely. Well, look out for that. December 1st will be the first episode. That's Thursday. This Thursday. If you're listening to this before December 1st, 2022. If you're listening to this in the far distant future, God, I hope we still do it.
It'll be nice. I might this year. I might have a surprise or two.
Oh shit! He's got surprises. I hope I have surprises.
Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do a surprise or two.
Oh, everyone loves surprises.
Always changing, always adapting.
Always changing. Sometimes adapting. That's it. That's episode 211. Only 100 more episodes till we're a band. Bye.
Swing.